Hello again, everybody. This is L.A. Kendrick from the House of Habit, Weekly Horror. Hope I found you guys at a very, very good time in your life. Hope everything is going well as possible. But let's get into it because you know I hate to make you wait for a good story, horror story at that. This one's called The Miasma Maze. And it's a story about Larnell and Letitia. And they have another couple with them, Spalding and Sarah. And they've been looking all year for the best haunted house to attend once the month of October came. And they've been scouring and looking and scouring and looking, and lo and behold, they find one. It's in Kansas, which is about a 16-hour drive from where they live. And so Larnell, Letitia, Spalding, and Sarah pack up and they're off on their world trip to find the most haunted and scariest haunted house there is. And although this is not a haunted house like they were looking for, this is an attraction that they were looking for. Because at the end, there is a house. But this thing is broken up into sections. So basically you go through a corn maze and then you go through the house. So the house is actually supposed to be haunted, in the most haunted place, one of the most haunted places on the planet, according to the research. So they arrive and they can see dozens of cars out in the parking lot, and they're like, yeah, this is the spot. And they're all excited. And the admission is $50, $25 per person. And they're thinking that's kind of cheap for such a large attraction because they're on a hill. They can kind of see down, and they can see like 2 acres of just well planned out scary theatricals. And they're like, this is impressive, and this is what I like. And Letitia's all excited, and Larnell is excited. The whole group is excited. Spalding, Sarah, they're all excited. So they pay their $50, and they have to get in the back of a wagon, so to speak, and it's being pulled by a trailer, like a little tractor trailer. And the driver's dressed up in scary and spooky skeleton type garb, and he just looks at them real sinister like, and he doesn't say anything but just nods and points to getting on the back of the trailer so they can pull them in. So as they're going through, they can see the attraction. They can see a lot of pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns, candles in them, well lit up. You can see body parts strewn all over the place. And they're loving the effects and the aesthetics of the surroundings. So it's really setting a nice chilling mood for them. And so they pull up to the main entrance, and they can see a group going in before their turn to go in. And it's like 8 or 9 people going in. And they go in, and then the door shuts. But they can hear a lot of screaming and a lot of yelling. They can just see a lot of good stuff that they would expect from such an attraction. And Spalding said, well, this just looks like it's better than Universal Studios. And Larnell says, I don't know about all that, but it does, they did do a lot of good work here. And then the spokesperson for the Miasma Maze speaks up. How are you gents and ladies and gents doing this evening? And everybody says they're doing pretty good, they're doing fine, well, whatever. And he commences to telling them what to expect for the evening. You're going to go to 3 particular trials and tribulations here on the Miasma Maze, okay? So you blokes should be able to handle this quite readily, okay? So don't think too much into it, but it's about as real as it gets. It doesn't get any more real than this. So real, in fact, that if you manage to see this thing through all the way to the end, and you survive, you get $1 million, $1 million US, since no one's ever completed the maze. That would make you the first. Nice consolation prize, don't you think? And they all look at each other like, what? Sounds too good to be true. Yeah, there's no strings attached. The only thing that you need to do is complete the maze. Surely you strapping young chaps can handle this. Spaulding's kind of stunned. $1 million to complete this maze. Yep, you heard it. You guessed it. So Larnell is thinking, wow, that could pay off a lot of things. And Letitia's like, yeah, it could pay off everything. You could live comfortably for the rest of your life if you manage the money properly. And Sarah's like, sounds too good to be true. And then the host says, don't be a tosser. Just take the idea of being scared in one of the best horror mazes that you'll ever come across in your life. And then out of nowhere, you can hear people screaming bloody murder, and it sounds so real. And Sarah and Letitia say, wow, that sounds pretty real. That doesn't seem like it's fake to me. Well, here you go. That's exactly what I'm saying. So we're going to open up the door, right? We're going to provide you with each section that you go to, we're going to provide you with an item to help you survive and get through. So here's a lantern for you. And here's a super soaker. Now, when you get to the other side of the edge, all you do is use the super soaker and you figure it out. You just have to figure out some of these little puzzles. But with the super soaker here, all you do, well, I'll let you decide. I'll let you figure that out. It's real simple. You figure it out and I promise you, you won't regret this. This is going to be the thrill ride of your life, okay? So, go on in, as he tells them, and they all start to go forward. And the doors open, they creak open, and they walk through. And they're all just extremely excited, and they keep walking. And they're seeing limbs and can still hear people screaming, and they can see the night sky and the stars are just out all over the place. It just looks absolutely amazing. The environment, the atmosphere is just chilling and full of energy. And they start smelling stuff that smells, like dead things. And Larnell says, hey, you guys wanted authentic, and here it is. They said that they did everything they could to give you the most realistic experience that you'll ever have. And Letitia said, well, do you think they went too far? And Spaulding says, no, not at all. I'm enjoying this. And Sarah says, yeah, live a little, girl, live a little bit. So they walk in further, and then they look up and they see 3 scarecrows up on posts. And they can see crows on them. And each scarecrow has like these real short sickles, the ones that are used to cut tobacco and corn stalks and things like that. So they have those. And Letitia keeps looking, and then one looks down at her and looks back up, and she goes, did you guys just see that? And they say, no, I didn't see anything. Everybody says, no, they didn't see anything. And she's like, well, that thing just looked at me. And he said, animatronics, come on now. What do you expect? This is what you're paying for. You paid a lot of money for this, so enjoy it. And then over the speaker, they can hear the host speaking to them again. You guys had better get a move on. No one's ever survived. You should be the first if you're so lucky to win that $1,000,000. So they're like, yeah, right, whatever. And all of a sudden, the scarecrows jump down off of their posts. And they start coming towards them, and everybody's like, yeah, whatever, yeah, this is really scary. Ooh, I'm really scary. Until one of them takes the sickle. One of the scarecrows takes a sickle and cuts Larnell across the arm. Larnell jumps back and says, hey, what the hell? What the hell was that about? And then they're looking at the makeup, and it's really, really done well. And Letitia said, I don't know, man. This seems a little bit too good to be true. What do you guys think? And Spalding is like, I think we need to press on through. We need to get a move on. And I don't think these guys are playing, is what Sarah adds. I think this is something else. So then they slash another one of them. And Spalding gets the slash this time. Only it cuts him across the leg. And they go, okay, come move. We got to move. We got to go. Run, move. And they run through the, they're starting to run through the maze. And they're like, at this point, they're like, okay, we don't want to participate anymore because there's something wrong and these guys are cutting us and these are not just fake cuts. These are real cuts and this is what's supposed to be part of it. And Larnell yells out, hey, I thought that this was supposed to be just a, a gimmick and just really good special effects. I didn't come to get cut up. Well, you knew what you signed up for. So, seeing that you signed up for such a tragic event, right? Did you think $1,000,000 would be easy to get, Did you really think it was going to be easy? Best thing you can do is keep moving forward because those scarecrows, they're real. They've been infused with magic from Stonehenge that we brought over. And each one has a rock in them that keeps them animated. And they won't stop until you kill them or they kill you. So I suggest you move your asses. Your asses. Move. Or stay and die and be part of the decorum. So they're running through and the scarecrows are coming big time. You can hear them just swishing through. You can hear the shh of their bodies and the hay that's filled them, that's filled within the clothes. You can just hear it. And they're coming at them very quickly and at a nice pace. So they all start to realize this is not a game, this is for real. And they can't go back because the scarecrows are behind them and they don't know which direction they're coming from because, like I say, now the maze is getting really twisty and windy and they're like really confused as to how to get in and get out. Only thing they can do is keep pressing forward. And they believe it or not, they make the right turns to advance forward. So they keep moving and then they get separated somehow. The two couples get separated. So they start screaming out for each other. Larnell, Letitia, Sarah, Spalding, can you guys hear us? And they can actually hear each other, but they don't know how to get back to each other because as soon as they try to go back, they try to backtrack, the scarecrows appear. So the scarecrow attacks Letitia. Now she's holding the super soaker. And she takes it and she sprays the entire body of the scarecrow. And our Larnell is looking and thinking, that smells like gas. And she says, yes. So he takes one of the pumpkin that he sees lined up. He takes one of the pumpkins and opens it up and takes the candle out of the pumpkin and he throws the candle on the scarecrow. And it burns the scarecrow to the point where it burns all the hay out of him. And then, lo and behold, right out of the face of the mask, the horrible face mask, a rock falls out. So that's one down. So Larnell yells out, Spalding, if you can hear me, you have to light them on fire. The super soaker is filled with gas. And if you have to use your lantern, use your lantern. Okay, as a fire base, if you don't have anything around, use the lantern and throw the lantern on it or do whatever you got to do to light a fire, but burn them that way. That's the only way to stop them. And they say, okay. And they continue forward. So Spalding and Sarah do the same thing. They actually use their super soaker the same way, and Spalding actually takes and breaks the whole lantern on his attacking Scarecrow. Burns him. Out from the face mask pops the stone, and it just falls to the ground. And now they can backtrack to each other. So they backtrack and they find each other. And they say, well, there's a third one. Remember, there's a third one. And so they go forward after they link back up, hook back up, and they go forward, pushing through, and they're trying to make some good time to get out. And as they do, they come across a moat, and they can see a steep hill that they got to climb up. But the moat is a little bit in front of them, and it's got of course, it's got water, and the hill looks really muddy and slick. And so the other Scarecrow comes out running with its sickle, and it's just slashing and hacking at them. And Spalding and Larnell take the sickles and they start hacking and slashing back at it. But the Scarecrow, not being human, just brushes off the sickles that they've sunk into its body, and they just keep beating, and it just keeps sinking and pulling it out, in and out, and they're attacking it and trying to chop it into little pieces. What it does, it knocks them back. But the girls, however, use the super soakers again and take another pumpkin, and they break the pumpkin over the body of the remaining Scarecrow, and they burn it to a crisp. And out of the mask falls another stone, magical stone. And then they can hear over a loudspeaker, "Bravo, bravo, you American chaps are quite impressive. Still got 2 more ordeals to go through, and the maze isn't over with just yet. So, with that being said, I suggest that you guys tally on, forward, through the moat, and up the hill, and down the hill, and up the hill. Doesn't get any easier for you. Yeah, I know I'm quite an arse, aren't I? But this is how we keep our business going and growing. Look around. All of those dead bodies, they're not fake. They're real. And as you can see, we're not playing any games here. So you best to press on with a stiff upper lip, and I'll get back to you if there's anything left to get back to." And he stops talking, and they look at each other, and they look across the moat and look at the hill, and they realize they have to cross that moat. They don't know how deep it is or what's going on with the hill. But what they do know is that they have to keep pressing forward, or they're not going to make it through the night. And Larnell says, "Man, all I wanted was a little bit of excitement. I never expected all of this. And all these poor people," Sarah says, "I wonder if they knew what they were getting into, because they can still hear people screaming. But then all of a sudden, everything just stops. Right over the hill, the things just stop. Everybody stops. All the noise stops. Everything stops. There's no more screaming. There's no more yelling. There's nothing. It stops." So they all pause and look at each other, and they get ready for the next trip through the Miasma maze. I'm going to leave it there. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I have published work already out on Amazon, Barnes, Ingram, Nook, and Kindle. Something just to keep you guys entertained. I know times are kind of weird out here, but it's the month of Halloween. Again, this is a hobby of mine. Not trying to make it overly perfected, but just enough that it's rough around the edges that you can still kind of enjoy what's happening in it, and it feels authentic. And again, these are original stories. It's just one of my hobbies. And if you guys at any point in time want to donate to my Cash App, it's $outrage95. All support is needed and appreciated. So thank you in advance. And this has been L.A. Kendrick. I'll be giving you the rest of the story this week. And like always, make sure you check the dark recesses of your home. You check your closets. You check under your beds. And if you happen to work at night during this month of Halloween, make sure you check your surroundings and you check under your cars. Because you never know what's lurking in the dark, waiting to make you a story. And this has been L.A. Kendrick, bringing you the heavy.